Hey everyone, welcome to the second episode of SESS Talks. Today, Speaker is ready to share tips and insights about her grad life. I'm Navindu, I'm one of the hosts. We've also got Amber on the line. Let's get Amber up here.
Hello everyone. We had a really good session with Dan and Ben from Team Swinburne last week. Today we have Salonie Saxena from Coleman Rail, who bring really awesome stories from her workplace. But first, before we get into Salonie to introduce herself, let's get on Slido so you can put some of the questions through and we get them answer.
Wonderful. So hey everyone, we're using Slido. As you can see, there are already some questions up there. You can go to slido.com and put in that code 6148. Just make sure that if you're going into this for a prize, we do have the $5 Uber Eats prize. Just make sure you enter either your student ID as your name so that we can actually contact you, or you can, if you do get the highest voted question, you can contact us on Facebook and we'll get you your prize. So wonderful. Let's get Salonie up here to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. All right, assuming that it is all clear, thanks Navindu. All right, let's get started. So thank you all for coming on a Friday evening and digging into SESS Talks today. I would like to begin with just a sneak peek into what graduates usually expect their day would be like. So on the left here, just in the office, chumming away. And what my day actually turns out to be is pretty much this. This is my office on the right. And yeah, that is my life. Usually people want to get into a BMW, but what you get, unfortunately or fortunately, is a ute. So things don't always turn out the way you expect it to be, but in my case, it's even better. Navindu, can you please play a video? I'd like to show everyone of what a day in my office sounds like. Just work out with the make things. You're trying to write stuff over there and it's raining, there's no light, but you have to make do with it. Sometimes we have to do critical like shifts. So this is a lift that we're doing for our 18-meter rail panel, which has the blocks and the rail attached to it. And it's 2 a.m. in the night, but you once you're on site, you can't stop. You have to keep going. So this is the same night that it was raining. It's really hot this night, but it's really cold. It was 2 degrees in the night before when it was raining on the same night, and there is no stopping. You have to keep going, and with the low visibility or the weather, you just have to go. So this is a critical lift that we were doing, and we had to go with it. But you do that with being a part of the team. So these are just some snapshots of me, which are very rare that there's actually pictures of me when there's some downtime sort of on site, when I actually get in with my crew, with the laborers, and I work. So for a successful site, you have to do things like that. You have to be a part of the team, and you can't think that you're just going to sit on your chair and just tell people what to do. You have to work as part of the team. And you celebrate professional victories as part of the team. So this was the road you previously saw that was broken up in the video that Viren played for us. And this is what it turns out to be after all. And this is in Brunswick. And I must add that this was on 1st of January that we began this year, when everyone was having their New Year holidays. We were working away. And you also have to celebrate personal victories. So I got a little story with this one. This year 2019 in June, when we were working in Bendigo, it was the first time that I got a car to myself to go there. And I'd never driven a Ute before. It was an automatic, and I'm only used to manuals. And I'd never filled up diesel before. So what I mean here is that when you look at your professional victories, such as this one with the team, you also have to not forget personal victories, such as this one, wherein I went to Bendigo, drove there by myself for 3 hours in a Ute that was big and like 6 times my size, and it was a heavy vehicle, and it was 4 a.m. in the morning in winters when I'm driving there, and it's just pitch black road, and my petrol finishes, and when I reached the station I realized, oh, I have to actually get diesel, and then you look for the diesel plug and stuff like that. But long story short, it was successful, I could do it, and I felt a great sense of achievement. So it's not just about the professional victories, but also the little personal ones that you have to acknowledge to yourself and feel happy about it, feel accomplished, and just keep going. So that was a little sneak peek into my life. Amber?
Wonderful. That's such a great, I guess, shift in kind of, I guess, perspective, because a lot of students don't really know what work is like involved, I guess, as a site engineer. So seeing that perspective, seeing, as you said, cherishing those small victories as well as the big ones, that's a really great message, because a lot of people don't know, for sure. We're going to launch to our... Yeah, go ahead.
Especially wanted to show everyone the photos of how a site looks like and the noise of what site looks like, because you only see pictures on the internet that they're almost of nearly constructed sites. You don't get to hear the noise. It's actually that loud, even louder sometimes. In that particular video I showed, there were 60 excavators on the site just in a line all together to organize it and everything, but also on site, you're there next to it, the music, I suppose. So just wanted to show everyone at Swinburne what that looks like.
For sure, that's great. Honestly, wonderful. So we put a poll out about 2 weeks ago, and we got our members to vote for questions that they thought were the most important to them. So let's start off with, I guess, what you would recommend to get involved with at or during uni.
Okay, so I would recommend that you first look at what stuff's available and what stuff you like or appeals to you. Do as much as you can, but don't overload yourself. You really need to get out there and do as much as varied stuff that you can, because at uni you have the opportunity, and I must say the easy access to various things that you don't get once you graduate. If you think at uni you don't have time, then once you hit real life, good luck, because you will really not have time. And you actually have to sacrifice your sleep or sacrifice your work or like nail the time management skills to actually really get something extra done other than work. So make use of this time, and it doesn't matter what you do so much as that you do it and you explore different avenues, because once you finish, once you graduate, you often tend to get stuck in the monotony of the daily life or of your work life. So I would recommend getting involved in various things. So when I was at uni, I obviously was a part of the SSL team in organizing events and facilitating workshops, and we didn't have webinars back then. We had face-to-face, but the logistics of all that, I did a lot of that, and it's not doing it, but you meet so many great people, you make friends as well as professional connections, which can help you down the line. And if they don't really directly help you, it's good to know someone in the industry who can just guide you and sort of mentor you as to what's going on there. So I did that, and I also participated in student clubs. We had our own club that we founded, was Technology Without Borders, because I was passionate about providing technology to everyone, not just the people who can afford internet and afford a phone. So we did lots of things with that as part of that group. So we founded that group, like you guys have founded SEF, and you're doing really well in promoting engineering and engaging the students with engineering. So things like this that you're passionate about, you should definitely do. There's also the SAE team, and I know that you interviewed someone this Wednesday, which also I was a part of. So even like things that you think that you might not even like for example, when I the SAT, I know cars. But you go in there, and a month later, all of a sudden, you know about cars, and you know of all the cool people that work there. So experiment, put yourself out there, do all the like random things that you think you'd never do, because you might end up liking them. And if you never tried them, you'd never know. And uni is the best place to try something really different that you won't otherwise be able to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got that's a lot to unpack there. It was really great. So like, what was your kind of journey? I guess, how did you start volunteering or getting involved with stuff, and what did that lead to from you? Like, how do you go from who you were a couple of years ago to who you are now? What's that journey? What did that look like?
All right. It was saying a lot of the time, saying yes to a lot of things. But again, I want to stress that don't overboard yourself with it. I felt that I have the capacity to take it on, so I kept taking it on. It wasn't like I'm crumbling under pressure or anything. So everyone has different how much they can retain or how much they can take. So it depends on that. After this disclaimer, I can go into the stuff I did. So in my first year, I was lucky enough to meet someone from Swinburne Student Life at that time, which who used to organize these events. And there was an event which had free food, and of course they were getting students to come to it. So I just went there. I was new. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know what the event was about. I honestly just went because of the free food. And after going there, yeah, because as a student, that's what you want to do, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like you're
Sure.
from classes, and it's like really good fancy food that they have at these events. It's not what we eat. It's not Macca's.
True.
It's like it was called the Mousetrap cheese event or something. So they had fancy cheese platters, and who was going to do that? So, so as a broke student, I went to that, and I was actually pulled in by the Swinburne people that they just wanted students to come to this event, yeah, and they were telling people that there's food, come on, there's food. So yeah, I went there. Happened to meet few people there that told me all these cool things they were doing, and they were from third year. And I was 2 weeks old at that time in university in Australia, so I didn't know anything. So having met them at that time showed me sort of what they've been doing, volunteering, and the perks of it, like all the free food and the recognition you get, and the fun, and like you make heaps of friends too. So I didn't know anyone and in Australia, and I just wanted to get started with my life. And also that when I went overseas, I sort of made a promise that I wanted to make the most of this opportunity because I'm away from my family. I want to do it for a reason, not just for education itself. So meeting those people on that event, that's how it started. And once it started, it just didn't stop because it was really fun. So started off with just volunteering at Swinburne, helping the events on campus, organizing like tables and chairs and people. And then it went on to starting our own student club that I mentioned, Technology Without Borders. So we even got Swinburne staff to help with that, who provided us the NAO robots, and we took them to the Royal Children's Hospital to help children with autism play with it and also learn alphabets and language through that. So this was sort of my passion, which I could do in third year. But so from first year to third year, I just did things that were available, that came up, that people told me about. And I always made sure to tell them that, yeah, if there's anything more, please let me know. I want to do this and this and this. And SSL also used to send fortnightly bulletins about things you can do on campus in terms of volunteering. So of course, I did all of that. So but once I was like more confident, I knew how to set things up, my own groups and things. That's why Technology Without Borders came in, and Engineers Without Borders as well. So, like I was part of things which you couldn't really see the output of until third year. It was all sort of behind the scenes. It wasn't recognized. Also in third year, I got recognized from SSL for student leadership and volunteering over in that year, which was a bit insane. Like obviously it was not the plan. I didn't even know there is a recognition like that, but because it added up in that year so much that it just became 300 and it just, you could see.
Nice.
So you guys can relate to it. You volunteer so much, right? This is volunteering for you, isn't it?
Yeah, and I guess like people don't know, I guess, what that leads to, and like as you said, when you got that award or whatever, it kind of quantifies what and like how much time and effort you spent into doing something. And yeah, that's great. You have something to quantify that.
Yeah, and it feels really good in the end. So when I got into it, I just did it because it was fun. I didn't know any people in Australia. I didn't really have friends or anyone. So I thought I'll spend meaningful time, but also I learned so much. And in the end, it was rewarded and recognized, which I didn't know at the start that it would be. So like you guys would have invested so many hours in organizing this, but you don't actually see it until you add it all up, and it's like, whoa, I did that much. So I suppose once again, the sort of conclusion of this is that put yourself out there, do as much as you can. It all adds up in the end. So that's how that third year for me added up to over 300 hours. In addition to my normal studying, working part-time, I was doing 2 jobs in a cafe and a restaurant, and the volunteering. So I suppose that year was just, that's where everything was recognized, but that's not where it started. It started in first year, and because I kept going consistently, it was all visible in third year after being recognized. So that was that. And of course, I still didn't stop, kept going, did lots of things. Even, for example, my final year research. Are you going to do that?
Yeah, I think, we have like the final year research project we have in engineering towards the end.
Yeah. My final year, after I even graduated uni, I was in touch with my supervisor to keep like working on it and making it better. And somehow last year in January, I got told from my same supervisor at Swinburne that there's a conference and we should try for it. And I was like, okay, all right. And we got in, we presented. It was a really great experience. And that also led out so many other opportunities. So like once again, if you keep working on things and don't leave anything halfway, I didn't even know where it's going to turn out to. But outcome like in a international conference presenting that, which was not the plan. There wasn't really a plan. I just wanted to make it better and keep going. So also the other thing from here is staying in touch with people. Like if I wasn't in touch with my supervisor for that research, if we weren't working on it, he wasn't going to just send me that or remember me and mention that opportunity. So over the years, all the connections that I made or that students also make, they should make an effort to be in touch. One thing is that you would like to, because you have memories attached to it, it makes you happy. And the other thing is professionally, somewhere down the line, anything can happen and you want to be there at the right time. So I think that's pretty much that's how I started. And I just kept going and did all sorts of things. I was going to make a list of things, but then I made it and I thought, oh, it's a bit too much. So I'm not going to share.
Fair enough. So we've got another quick question from one of our members. I guess going into volunteering, you meet a lot of different people, right? So in uni, there's kind of the thing around group tasks, and there's always that one person at uni who doesn't contribute to the project. Is that the same thing, past graduation? What's your experience with that?
100% yes.
Fair enough. So what's
your experience with that, if I can ask? Do you have that a lot? Do you notice that in your groups a lot at uni?
I mean, it depends on how the groups are made, I guess. If it's randomly, it's kind of like luck if you get a good like a team member or not. But usually it's pretty fine. Usually. What about you?
After work, in my case, I can say, of course, it happened in uni, and you just tell the teacher, or you just work it out in your own group and just do it anyway and don't try to bother the student. It's the way of resolving it is similar even after graduation. So you've got 2 options. Either you speak to that guy or girl, you speak to them directly that, hey, you gotta like do your responsibility, it's getting too much. The other option is you have to keep cleaning up everyone else's mess, which means that you end up working 18 hours, 17 hours. I must say here honestly that I am guilty of that. Not anymore, but my first year and a half or 2 years actually. Year and a half, yeah. I improved after that. This was just really common, and I think when I did resolve it, it's not even the person's fault. Sometimes they don't even know, they don't realize. Like in my case, when I did the work for them, they didn't know I was doing it for them, like, or that their stuff was incomplete. I just did it, and no one ever found out what happened behind the scenes. When I did raise it with my manager after 1 year of this, I was just like, look, it's enough. I can't take it anymore. This needs to be, someone needs to do something about it. He was surprised that I didn't mention it before, and he 100% agreed.
I think there's a small connection issue. It should be back soon, though.
That
So a bit of background, Salonie is actually taking this call from India, so she's actually overseas at the moment, so it's hard for the connection, I guess. Let's see if she just popped back in, though. I think it's happening. It's coming back.
It's coming back, yes.
Slowly.
Technology got us good.
Yes. So while Salonie gets back to us, Amber, what do you think? We were talking about, all these experiences with Salonie, so she was mentioning how it's the same process, being in uni and then graduating after. It's the same, I guess, issue with group projects and how it's resolved, which we didn't know, but fair enough.
Yeah. Well, everyone have a different experience, I guess, when they at uni and when they graduate. But what I feel like I really appreciate from Salonie is her energy. She just had so much energy, and I'm like taking so much energy from her. She's so positive, so passionate about what she do, which I think is something that's really positive. From her, definitely see a common theme here from the previous podcast and here. People like Nike's slogan, just do it. I would give it a shot. And like here, Salonie was like, experiment things. Just give it a try and like do as much as you can. I think there's a common theme between our Swinburne students, graduates, which is awesome. But yeah, it's really like insightful to see her workplace as well. I think it's very rough, difficult work environment. But yes, I think Salonie is coming back. Here we go. It's about to come up.
There it is.
Yes. Awesome.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. So I think it's still there. Salonie, you'll just keep trying to talk and let's see if the connection gets a bit better. One of the things that I noticed is Salonie has a heap of experiences, She's gone through, she was an international student and she started off not knowing, anything about Australia when she came here, but also, she took up all of the opportunities that were there, and I guess the message is, just to get involved and take opportunities as they come, as Amber was saying, but, also being able to know what you want to do and I guess prioritizing some of your passions and spending the time and managing your time is something important as well,
Definitely. Yep. when there's a lot of things on your to-do list, that is where the time management skill need to come in. I trust Salonie already mastered that skill. Otherwise, you can't really volunteer with so many organizations, just so much. When Salonie come back, I'm actually curious about how she benefit from volunteering, whether that helped her with her networking, and probably she can give us some example of the network or the people that she still maintained the relationship until now through her volunteering life, for example. That would be really good to hear. Only if she's coming back.
Yes. While we're waiting, we can. I think. Oh, there she is. She's back. Salonie, hello.
Awesome.
Hi. Sorry about this. Not sure what happened there.
No worries.
That's
Go
okay.
ahead. So I think we were talking about. I think Amber was taking over, and she was talking about your experience and stuff. Amber, do you have anything in particular?
First of all, I just say I really appreciate your energy. It just, you're so passionate, so much energy. Just like I can, even though we're like in different environment now, you're in India and I'm in Australia, I can, receive some energy, like virtually.
Coming from here? Oh,
Yes, I know.
good.
This is awesome. Definitely. So I heard a lot of volunteering experience that you had, and then you also talk about networking as well, and you talk about how we need to maintain relationship that we build and keep in touch with people that you met in your life. Would you like to bring up some example where you met like certain people during your volunteering experience, and you still maintain a relationship until now, and what the value that you got out of that?
Yeah. So one is that I mentioned during the conversation that I was in touch with my university supervisor for my research. We were working on our research even after graduation, and he's the one who referred me to that conference that I should go to it, and he gave me that opportunity, which was really amazing because that conference happens once in 4 years and it's international. And I was lucky enough that year, 2019, it was in Melbourne. Like next time in 2023, it's in Prague. So what are the odds of that? So that was an amazing example that being in touch with him led me to that opportunity. The others could be, there is a lady in the Swinburne careers department. I have also been in touch with her, and she's put me on their careers panels a few times as well now that I'm here. And it adds a personal touch because they've seen me grow. Like when I was in first year, I came to them for help. They checked my resume and cover letter, and now I've still been in touch and I'm working, and now I'm sort of assisting other students do that. So that looks great for them and for me. And it definitely goes beyond just a professional connection. It's a relationship that you develop, and it feels good to do that. So that's the two examples I can think straight away from the top of my head. Or actually also in my workplace, on my first day, there was a person, not even from my company. We were working in an alliance, which is like where there's other companies too. So I just spoke to them because it was my first day and I didn't know what to do and who my team was. I was actually waiting on my own team from Coleman Rail to show up. So they introduced, I did not know that person was the alliance manager, which means he's the manager of all the 3 companies working on that project. I just met him in the coffee room and I was like, hey, I'm new. It's my first day here. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And he introduced me to his team and like everyone on that entire floor. And later on, the people at lunch or something told me like, nice to meet you and stuff. Did you know that guy was the manager, like the alliance manager? Like what? So because it was such, I didn't know his rank or anything. It was such a genuine connection or genuine talk. I still talk to him and he's really senior. He's like the director now. And we still exchanged conversation. We still talk, and it's just great to have, I suppose, a friend in such a high rank. It's just, it's pretty obliging for me, I think. So that's a third example that I could straight away think of. There is a lot more examples, but basically, it adds up that you should continue that way.
Definitely. Thank you, Salonie, for that. I would bring up the Slido questions because we got 2 questions in here that Stephen put through. So the first questions who got the most vote was it difficult finding a job in Australia after graduating, being an international student?
Okay, it is quite difficult for most international students, but in my case, without being too that, it was not difficult for me. I only applied for one job and I did get it,
Mm,
but
mm,
there is a background to that. It's not that I knew that all in my case because I was looking for construction. I didn't want a design or consultancy job. I wanted to be on site. I filtered through all the companies. I was helping my friends actually get a job before me because they were more they were ahead. They were a year ahead of me. So I sort of had the knowledge and experience that the bigger construction companies don't take international students because it already says in their criteria that they don't. So in my case, I filtered that because I had learned that through my 1 year of helping my other friends that this is what the procedure is. So when I applied, I didn't apply for any of the big companies. I only applied for the one that I knew takes international students, and somehow I got it. I only had one interview, and I only applied for one job. I got just that, so it wasn't difficult for me. And in my interview, all the questions they asked were relating to my volunteering and all these activities and things that I did, which were 4 pages long. And so, in hindsight, now I'm trying to share this with other students that participating, volunteering, getting yourself out there is really goes a long way in industry. They really look up to that. That's what they asked me during my interview. So which is why now I want to stress this, because when I was doing this, I didn't know the value of it. Now that I've done it and I've seen the results, I want to share with everyone. It is true. It goes a long way. And the reason is because when you do these things, you show that you're passionate, you're dedicated. Like you weren't getting paid for any of that, but you did it apart from your usual routine, which speaks so much about you. And also the skills that you gain, the meeting people, communication skills, confidence, and a lot more things is what they really value. So rather than having a fresh graduate with no experience of anything, if someone's shown that they're passionate, like for example, what you both are doing, what SESS does, you are spending your valuable time on things that you're passionate about, helping other students, and it will go a long way. Like you would have more examples too that what you've learned along the way by doing this, right?
Thank you, Salonie. Yes, but like you probably done a lot more. But thank you for that. Well, we have some more questions. I just want to get it through so that we end at the right time. One of the questions that on Facebook was around. Now I understand that you said you got the job, like you applied for one and you got it straight away, and I'm sure because of your the track record during uni, you probably studied really well, and like volunteering skill and experience, and so probably help as well. But what if people struggling finding job after graduating? What should they use their time during, like finish uni and then getting their foot through the door to the first job? Like what should they do during that time gap?
Yeah. So coincidentally, since COVID happened, I am trying to mentor as such or help as many students as I can that are reaching out to me on LinkedIn. So I'll repeat the same stuff. If anyone wants to get in touch, they still can do that. But just the starters or the headlines of what you can do is keep getting involved in the industry that you want to work in. Like for me, if it was construction, I'd look at all the projects that are happening, keep my knowledge up to date. A good way of doing that is the Engineers Australia webinars these days, which used to be seminars. They're really valuable. They provide industry knowledge. The biggest thing is they are free. And when the world was normal, they had free food too. So
yes,
it's the pull.
Of course, you make connections, but your knowledge also increases. The other bonus is you get CPD hours, which adds up towards your chartered engineering. So there's more than one benefits to that. Going to things like tests, doing these things, learning more, putting yourself out there again, because it's easy to. Of course, it is disheartening when you get rejections, and it happens all the time. But as much as you have to keep yourself up, you need to take time to digest that this is what's happening. And sometimes you would feel low, but you would have to push yourself up or make a network of friends or anyone else. Like I'm happy to assist anyone, but if you have your own personal network of friends, just speak to each other. I remember we actually still have a WhatsApp group with my friends where we share all the rejections So during time of the final year, people used to share, the unfortunately you didn't get this job email. We still do that sometimes, but it was a regular that we shared on the WhatsApp group. Hey, another one came in, another one. So you celebrate with your friends, and they support you, and you would then feel motivated to keep going. We just made a joke out of it rather than feeling sad, and we also felt that we're getting closer to it. So if it's like if you get the 16th rejection, it's like you're one step closer, and like we just made a joke out of it rather than being upset, because a lot of the times the recruiters don't look at your profile even. Like you just get a rejection without them even having a look. So don't take that stuff personally. Keep your knowledge up with industry, what's happening. Participate in things like SESS if you've got it, or whatever other platforms that you would prefer. Engineers Australia, and also look at your resume and profile. Profile on LinkedIn is really important these days, especially in times of this virtual world.
Definitely.
Reach out to someone, get opinions on your resume and cover letter. You might be lacking something in your profile that is hindering the process of you getting a job. And lastly, look at some skills that you can do, which stems off from your profile. So if you take advice from someone, they can tell you from the industry that you need to learn this skill or that skill. And there's a lot of free courses these days on LinkedIn. So just jump on that. So the bottom line is do all of these things, but also take time to breathe and digest that. Don't take it personally. It's going to happen sooner or later, but you have to be consistent. If you quit, like maybe the next day was the day you were going to get it and you quit the day before. You can't do that. You have to keep going.
So just because the main answer for this was around keeping positive. Talk to your network of friends and making sure that they to support you. You also try to attending EA webinars and like expanding your knowledge. Looking back at your resume, your LinkedIn profile, making sure you polish it up just in case that you didn't feel certain thing in, you missed anything out. But yeah, Salonie, thank you so much for being such a great ambassador to SESS. Like that is so awesome. But yeah, I mean,
sorry, I was going to say, do we have time? I had a question for you.
Yes.
Do we have?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to share my screen. Sorry. And I'll be as quick as I can. Okay, so with this photo, so with this photo, can you tell that this day, and is there any similarities in this, is what my question for you is.
There's none. How can that, wait, so that's like in the morning or something, and that's at night.
Well, your happy face is there, like you're always happy, you're always a lot of energy, I can see through your smile, your big smile and your eyes.
Tell us.
Okay, so
what is that about?
This is what my mom clicked the previous night that I came home, and there's mud on my face and in my hair that you probably can't see, but I know. And my clothes are really dirty, and this is after a 14-hour shift from site. And the next day I have site again, and it's the last day of the metro tunnel project that we were working on. In the picture on the left, in the site close. And that's the day that there's a NAWIC event in the evening, and I didn't want to go because I was really haggard from the whole week. Actually, it was Friday, and I did not want to go. And of course, I didn't know that I was going to win as well. So it was just like, for free food, nah, I'm not gonna go, because I don't care about free food anymore. I used to, but I was too tired to care about free food. But something happened, when the day finished, we were demobilizing from site, so it was really hectic, and the week had been like this that you can see, so very hectic again. And I didn't want to go, and then my one of my friends who was going to the event was like, yeah, you come for the free food, if you don't go, I'm not gonna go, stuff like that. So he did end up getting me there, and honest story, I was not ready. I was in orange clothes, and my mom had just thrown some clothes in the boot for me, trying to say that please go in the evening. I didn't know what the things were. I'd never worn this before. I don't usually wear dresses. I had to change in the car park. It's a true story, because I had no time.
Really?
Yes. And we went. And like I went there and this happened, which was the most incredible like celebrity feeling for me, that I got recognized for my work in construction. So had I not gone, I would have said no to
great.
this amazing night of my life so far. And I wanted to show the behind the scenes and the truth of what you don't see in pictures. Like if you would see a LinkedIn picture of me getting an award, you don't see what I was feeling
Yeah,
and what
we would have no
really
idea.
and
Yeah,
what you
no.
have to do to get to that level. So you just have to, I guess, keep going no matter how hard. It is a cliche line, but it is true, and that's why I wanted to show that picture of me in mud.
Wonderful.
Congratulations, Salonie. First of all, congratulations on getting that award, getting recognition for your hard work. I think you totally deserve it. And thank you again. I think we about to reaching the end of our podcast. And I know you're learning to launch
No.
campaign. So everyone here, if you feel like you got a lot of values out of Salonie advice and you want to connect with her, feel free to drop a line on LinkedIn and get to know her learning to launch campaign, I would say. She will be there and like we support you with her, wealth of knowledge and experience. So we also going to share with you the link to get to that campaign as well. If you're interested, just drop a message to our Facebook page. But Salonie, thank you so much for spending time with us, even though you're like really far away. Finishing work and coming here and sharing us students your uni experience. I think it's very insightful about how your volunteering experience, which encourage others to also be more proactive, volunteer their time as well. And I think one of the things I think really key here is maintain your bridge. Never burn a bridge, which means always maintain your connection. Because you never know now later on you cross path with the people that you met in the past, and you probably work together as well, so you don't really want to break any of that connections. Well, thank you all the people who tune into our Facebook Live. We have other podcasts coming up in the future with Nicole Brown, who will be sharing her successful story. We got Joshua also coming in and talk about his unusual engineering pathway, become one of the placement coach to the university student now. But yes, I think we wrapped it up here tonight. Thank you,
Awesome.
everyone.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Salonie.
Thanks. Bye.
No worries. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.